Here's an overview on how the field service app works. When you open up the app, it will take you to the service appointments list. If you don't see your service appointment right off the bat, you may need to go up to the top and change it to either tomorrow or this week. And if you still don't see your service appointment, you may have to go up to the calendar here and switch it to the current day. Now here's the list of your service appointments. On this one here, you'll see that I have 2 service appointments. One I already completed. It gives you a check mark next to it. So when you want to open up a service appointment, just click on the tile. Don't click on the 3 dots, because the 3 dots just gives you some messaging options for the customer. So instead, just click on the tile, and that will take you to the service appointment with the map and all the contact information for the customer. So from here you can get directions. If you scroll down, there's your contact information. So depending on the information that Sue or Mari put in, will determine what options you get here. So if they put in all the phone number, email, and everything, then you'll see all these options. Sometimes you may not, if she left those items out. But it's nice that you can just call the person right from here. You can text them from here. You can email from here. Oops, I hit the wrong screen. Now, if you scroll down, there's some more information like asset service history. So this will show you the most recent service calls on that particular machine. Keep in mind that this only has a history of the service calls that were made using Salesforce. So it's not going to go beyond the day we started using Salesforce. And then there's also a feed here that will show you if there's any items that have been posted to that account, like pictures or forms or anything relating to that account. So now, when you're going to your service appointment and when you're updating your service report, most of all your items are going to be in this blue menu. So if you look in the blue menu, you have create service report, update status, update work completed, and edit work order. The first 3 are what you'll use the most. So when you're on your way to the service appointment, click the update status, and there's 3 different statuses. So the first one is you can pick dispatched. So this is when you're on your way to the customer. This will let Sue know that you're en route and on your way to the service call. And then when you arrive, go back into update status and hit in progress and hit save. So that will let Sue know that you're on site, and it also puts a timestamp on your service report automatically. So it will put the current time on the report, so you don't have to go in and put in the time manually. And that is also true for when you change the update status to completed. It will put the end time in there automatically for you as well. So now, when you're finished with the call, you can go into update work completed and type in the description of the work done. So in this instance, I'm just going to put replace corona wire. Clean printer, whatever. Now if you want to put in some parts, if you look up at the top, right above the service appointment map, there's an item that says products. Here you can add parts, so you hit the plus symbol if you want to add a part. There's a search box so you can search for items. So you can type in corona wire or corona hit search, and it'll pull up all those items. Now, you'll notice that there's a lot of Corona wire items in here, so I've noticed that the easiest thing to find the wire that we typically use is just type in tungsten, hit search, and then it'll pull up the two different wire types that we use. So for the 80 micron wire, just hit add, type in the number of wires that you put in, or you can type on this little box here and manually type in the number. Hit save. And since we're on this different screen here, I'll show you there's a details tab, just a quick overview of the service appointment, related, gives you some items for like documents, previous service reports, and then there's also a feed. So if anybody posts like a picture, or if they just want to post something out there on that account, it's kind of like Twitter in that aspect. So now we're pretty much done with the service call. I will show you this little edit service appointment menu here. So it's the three dots right above the map, so you can edit the service appointment. So in here you can put in your meter reading. So there's the 2 meters, and you don't have to put in any commas. It'll do that for you on the report. Now you may notice sometimes that if you go in here and you're putting in your meter and you see actual start and actual end time is blank, and as I mentioned earlier, that when you change the status from in progress and completed, it's supposed to autofill these. Well, the reason they're blank right now is because it takes some time for the app to refresh itself. So it has to actually tell the server to update the time, and then the server relays back that to the app. But it's not a problem. You can leave those blank, because when you go to generate your report, it will populate and put those times in your report. So it doesn't matter if those are blank, unless you specifically want to put a time in there. So hit save. So now we're ready to create a report. So hit the blue menu, hit create service report. Now it'll give you a preview. So if you just tap on the report, it'll give you a preview what everything's going to look like. So this gives you a chance to kind of correct any mistakes or put in anything you might have missed. And you can also show this to the customer. So if you hit back, now it's going to want you to get a signature. So if you tap get signature, it'll take you to this screen, and then you can hit sign and confirm, and then you put in the customer's name. So whatever this customer name is, and then you have them sign. Now, I would say in most of your occasions, you're not ever really going to need a signature. So in most of your service reports, all you got to do, if you don't want to get a signature, is hit the 3 dots in the bottom right corner there, and then you'll get this option that says mark not present. So it just means the customer is not present to sign. And then after you do that, now you can hit generate sign report. And you'll see here it created a new file at the top of the screen. So now you can open up the report. So at this point, you want to tap on the report and then hit the little send button at the top right, and then you'll have to email this to the customer and Sue and Mari. This might change down the road. I'm hoping we'll get this to where it automatically emails the customer, but for now we're going to have to still email it like we have been. Last thing I was going to show you is, say for instance you created the report and you're about to send it and you forgot to put some parts in there. you can go back to this service appointment screen and add parts, and then there's a way to update the report that you just made. So let's just add another part in here. So I'll just say replaced a Corona block. So if you go back to the overview screen, you'll see your report at the top. So tap on the report that was made a minute ago, and then what you do is you hit update, and then what it does is it takes you back to this preview screen, and then you go through the process again. So you hit mark not present, hit generate signed report. So now it's going to update that report, and you'll see it put my additional part on there. That's pretty much it. So if you go back to the previous screen to your service appointments list, it will put a check mark next to the appointment you just completed. And you'll also notice that there's a notifications option at the bottom. So it gives you a quick look at any appointments you've gotten and a timestamp. That's it. So please let me know if anything on your app looks different. I'm going to assign service appointments to everybody this week as a test. They're all going to be identical, just like the one I just did. Same description and everything. So if anything looks different in the menus or anything, let me know and we'll get those fixed.